If you want to perform some sort of action on every item in a list, use a for loop. The format is for item variable in list name : followed by a code block. Like if statements and function definitions, the for statement ends in a colon, and the code block that follows the for statement will be executed for every item in the list. Essentially, what happens is that the first item in the list at list index 0 is assigned to item underscore variable, and the code block is executed. The next item in the list, the item at index 1, is assigned to the item underscore variable, and then the code block is executed. This process continues until the list is exhausted. If there are no items in the list, the code block will simply not execute. Here is an example that prints the uppercase version of every animal in the animals list. The first time the code block gets executed, animal is assigned the value of man, since man is the first item in the list of animals. The second time the block of code gets executed, animal is assigned the value of bear, since bear is the second item in the list. And finally, the third time the block of code gets executed, animal is assigned the value of pig. In addition to the for loop, Python has a while loop. The format is while, then some condition, followed by a colon. As long as the condition evaluates to true, the code block following the while statement will execute. Typically, the code block will alter a variable that is part of the condition. At some point, the condition will evaluate to false and the program continues after the while loop. If the condition never evaluates to false, then you have an infinite loop. To halt the execution of a Python program, type Ctrl+C. So if you accidentally create an infinite loop, you can break out of it with Ctrl+C. The example code on your screen creates an index variable to store an integer and will be used as the index of the animals list. The while loop executes while the index is less than the length of the animals list. During the code block, the index variable is incremented by 1. The plus equals operator adds a value to the variable's existing value and assigns the new value to that variable. So using index plus equals 1 will increment the index variable by 1. When the code on your screen is executed, it simply prints each item in the list.